The story of South Korean money does not begin at a bank, nor does it begin with a printing press. It begins at a high-security perimeter in the heart of South Korea, where the Korea Minting, Security Printing and ID Card Operating Corporation, better known as KOMSCO, operates under a veil of absolute secrecy. Here, every sunrise brings a fleet of armoured trucks, but they aren't carrying gold, they are carrying the raw biological foundation of the economy, cotton linters that most people mistakenly call money paper. But if you accidentally left a piece of wood pulp paper in your pocket through a washing machine cycle, it would come out as a soggy, unrecognisable mess. South Korean won is different. It is a textile. It is made from the short, silky fibres that cling to a cotton seed after the long fibres have been removed for the garment industry. These linters are imported under strict international contracts because they possess a unique molecular structure, long-chain cellulose that provides incredible tensile strength. As these heavy compressed white bales enter the loading bay, they are scanned by automated systems to ensure no biological contaminants or foreign objects are present. This is the birth of a note. The air here is sterile, the guards are armed, and the precision is surgical. Every bale is assigned a digital DINA tag. From this moment on, every fibre can be tracked from the farm it grew on to the wallet it will eventually inhabit. This isn't just manufacturing, it is the physical manifestation of national trust. Once inside the white zone, the cotton bales are shredded by a massive industrial bale breaker. This machine uses rotating steel teeth to tear the dense mass into light, fluffy clumps. But this is just the beginning of the transformation. To become currency, the cotton must undergo a process of chemical alchemy. The cotton is fed into a digester, a skyscraper-sized pressure cooker. Here, a cocktail of alkali and high-pressure steam is injected. This process is critical because natural cotton contains waxes, oils, and organic residues that would prevent printing ink from bonding. For hours, the cotton is cooked until the molecular bonds of the impurities break down, leaving behind 99.9% pure alpha cellulose. After the cook, the fibres are rinsed multiple times with deionized water. This isn't just tap water. It is water stripped of all minerals to ensure no chemical reactions occur later in the process. The result is a slurry, a milky thick liquid that looks more like a milkshake than money. But inside this liquid, the refiner is at work. Specialized blades grind the fibers to a specific microscopic length, exactly 1.5 mm to 2 mm. This precise length is what allows the fibers to interlock perfectly during the paper forming stage, creating that signature crisp feel and the high-pitched snap sound you hear when you flick a brand new 50,000 won note. If the fibers were even a fraction of a millimeter off, the note would feel like a common napkin. Now we enter the most sensitive part of the paper-making process, the wet end. As the liquid cotton flows onto a fast-moving mesh belt, the water is sucked away by massive vacuum boxes. In these few seconds, as the fibers are settling, KOMSCO weaves in the invisible fortress. First, the security fibers are introduced. These are microscopic synthetic threads, dyed in vibrant reds and blues, which are randomly scattered into the pulp. Because they are part of the paper's structure, they cannot be rubbed off. When you see them under a UV light, they look like glowing neon hairs. Because their distribution is random, every single note has a unique fiber fingerprint, making it impossible for a counterfeiter to mass produce an exact replica. Then comes the watermark. This is the oldest and most trusted security feature in history. A dandy roll, a cylinder engraved with a 3D relief of a national hero like King Sejong the Great, presses gently into the wet pulp. It doesn't print an image, it pushes the fibers aside. Where the engraving is deep, the paper becomes thinner. Where it is shallow, the paper is thicker. This creates a permanent image trapped inside the paper. When you hold a 10,000 won note to the light, you aren't seeing ink, you are seeing the varying density of cotton fibers. Simultaneously, the security thread is fed into the machine. This is a polymer ribbon containing microtext and holographic elements. The machine sandwiches this thread between two layers of wet pulp. By the time the paper reaches the drying cylinders, the thread is part of the note's anatomy. It is protected by the cotton, ensuring that even after years of circulation, the thread remains intact and readable by bank sorting machines. The paper is now dry, rolled into massive 2-ton jumbo rolls and moved to the printing hall. This is where the paper officially begins its journey toward becoming currency. The first stage is offset printing. Using the simultaneous process, the front and back background patterns, consisting of millions of interlocking geometric lines, are printed in a single pass. This ensures see-through registration. If you look at the Taejuk symbol on a Korean note, the front and back patterns align so perfectly that they form a single, flawless image that the soul of the note lies in intaglio printing. This is the heavy-duty heart of the factory. Massive steel plates are engraved by master craftsmen. These plates are flooded with a thick, high-viscosity ink that feels more like paste than liquid. A specialized wiping roller removes the ink from the flat surface, leaving it only in the deep grooves. The paper is then fed into the press under 30 tons of hydraulic pressure. The pressure is so intense that the cotton fibers are actually forced deep into the grooves of the plate. When the paper emerges, the ink is sitting on top of the surface in raised ridges. This is the tactile effect. When a person with visual impairment runs their finger over the corner of a 50,000 won note, they can feel the distinct embossed dots that tell them exactly how much the note is worth. This raised ink is also what gives the portraits of Korea's scholars their lifelike, 3D appearance. The eyes of the portraits are printed with such precision that they seem to follow you, a level of detail that standard commercial printers simply cannot match. As we move into the security department, we enter the realm of physics. Modern Korean notes, especially the higher denominations like the 50,000 won, utilize optically variable devices, OVDs. The first is the motion hologram. A strip of silver foil is heat stamped onto the note. This foil contains millions of micro lenses. When you tilt the note, the image of the Korean peninsula, or the Taejuk symbol, appears to move in the opposite direction of the note's tilt. This is a 3D motion effect that requires billions of dollars in research and development. It is the gold standard of anti-counterfeiting. Next is the Spark Live ink. Look at the number 5000 on the note. It isn't just gold, it is alive. This ink contains magnetically oriented pigments. While the ink is still wet on the press, the note passes over a high-powered magnetic field. This field shoves the microscopic magnetic flakes into a specific shape, a rolling bar. When you tilt the note, a bar of light appears to roll up and down the number. Simultaneously, the color shifts from a deep magenta to a brilliant forest green. This is optically variable ink, a chemical wonder that ensures that even a high-resolution 4K scanner cannot capture the true essence of the note. Finally, we have the infrared and magnetic signatures. Parts of the note are printed with metameric inks that look identical to the human eye but appear different under infrared sensors. Other parts contain magnetic particles with a specific chemical scent. When you deposit money into an ATM, the machine isn't looking at the note like you do, it is smelling the magnetic signature and seeing the infrared patterns. If those invisible codes aren't there, the machine rejects the note in milliseconds. Printing is done, but the journey isn't over. Every single sheet, containing dozens of notes, must pass the digital inquisition. High-speed cameras, scanning at a resolution of 12,000 pixels, compare every square millimetre of the sheet against a master file. If the AI detects a single ink smudge the size of a needlehead, it flags the note for destruction. The sheets move to the guillotine hall. Here, massive blades, sharpened by robotic stones, descend with 5 tons of pressure. They slice through the thick stacks of cotton paper with a thud that vibrates through the floor. The result is thousands of individual, crisp banknotes. The notes, are then jogged and counted by robotic fingers that never tire. They are wrapped in white paper bands, then bundled into bricks of 1,000 notes. These bricks are vacuum sealed in thick, tamper-proof plastic. This creates a time capsule of value, protecting the notes from the humidity and dust of the outside world. Finally, the armoured convoys arrive. These are not ordinary trucks, they are mobile vaults, monitored by GPS and satellite 24/7. As they pull out of the KOMSCO facility with a police escort, the cycle is complete. From a humble bale of cotton to a high-tech fortress of light and magnetism,
Undercarriage is clear.
the South
Roger.
Korean
Move
one
to the
is
cab.
ready to enter the pockets of millions. It is a masterpiece of engineering that you carry every day. It is a symbol of South Korea's economic strength,
Got it. Next
a
one.
tribute to its
Roger.
historical
Box
hero,
2 is clear.
and a testament
Loading now.
to the fact that in the world of currency, perfection is the only acceptable standard. Next time you hold a OneNote, take a moment to feel the ridges, tilt the hologram, and appreciate the 1,000-step journey of the most advanced paper.